Today I'm with Finley James, amateur boxer at West Ham Boxing Club. How are you doing, Finley? And thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, mate. I've just come back from training now. It's done my second session of the day. So, although we're amateur boxers, we still train just as hard as the ones that get paid and the ones that get their names in the big sites and fight in the big arenas. We work just as hard.
And you're training at West Ham Boxing Club, like I said there, a club packed with tradition since 1922. What's it like to train at that gym?
When you're training out of a club with so much history behind it, every time you're putting on a vest to go and fight, you have to perform with the same level of the people that have gone past, because people expect this kid's a West Ham kid, he's going to be good, he's going to be strong, he's going to be fit. So if I went out there and I wasn't strong, fit, and as good as previous West Ham boxers, then you got to live up to that mark, I always think, especially with a club with, like you say, nearly 100 years of history behind it, champions upon champions upon champions.
Now, you'll know the names better than me. You've had Terry Spinks, haven't you?
Yeah, a few Terry Spinks, Olympic champion, and that. Kevin Mitchell, he went through. He was a wonder kid, won the senior elite at 18 years of age, become a very good pro. Now as a coach, Nigel Benn, he's won titles for West Ham. And the best thing about it, if you went to West Ham, they got the big board with every champion on it. If you went there, half the names on that board are just a kid from East London that was probably naughty, terrible in school, terribly disciplined, but he went there and he made something from the years 10 to 20. He made something of himself and he achieved something. So that's all you can ask for amateur boxing.
Now, it looks like you've got a very close-knit group of coaches at West Ham. Who are those coaches now, and what good a job do they do?
The coaches at West Ham do a great job of keeping all the kids in check, in line with weight. Obviously, you've got to let a kid be a kid, but you've got to make sure they're on the ball because they're athletes. So Jason Ball, who runs like the logistics of the club, making sure all the forms are done, everyone's entered, and he makes sure everything's spot on, top man. You've then got Jim Rafter, who is stepped up and he's coaching the kids superb. He's got a lot of knowledge. I think he ran a boxing club, don't quote me, about 20 years. So the things that man has seen, he's been there, he's done it, he can teach. And then Mr. Old School, Terry Abbott, the man, if you looked at him, you wouldn't think it, but if you spoke to him, he's a boxing genius. He understands everything in the game. So to have a person like that in my corner, it's unmatched. And then you've got a motivator in Chris Penny. Me and Chris have been through like 15 plus fights together now. He's been my main corner man, and we've been winning. And then obviously you've got fathers of young boxers in there helping out, contributing. Charlie Brown, he's a top coach. His son boxes there as well. So for him to dedicate the time, and because sometimes as a parent, it'd be hard to go to the gym where your son boxes and also be a coach, because you want the best for your son, but you've also got to have a level head to make sure that you're coaching the other kids to the best of your ability. Yeah.
You mentioned Old School there. You can't mention West Ham without mentioning Mickey May. Is his memory still kept alive?
His memory is well kept alive within the West Ham boxing circle, and I don't think they'll ever let it die. I think the club will be 500 years old and they will still talk about that man, because what he done great things. He was a great man. He produced champions upon champions. He produced champions like some people produce a regional boxer. You knew if you was training with that man, it was going to be tough, hard, grueling work, but you reap the rewards. So you can't ask for nothing more.
Now, just a bit about you as a boxer. You've had a lot of fights, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm in 55. I think I'm pushing 60 now. I've had a lot. I've been fighting since I was about 9 years old. Started off at Chadwell St Mary Boxing Club, my local gym. There, I was there with Jim Rafter. We was both there, and that was nearly 10 years ago now. So the fact we're 10 years on and we've ended up at the same club is mad. And then God,
How old are you now, Finley? And what level have you been boxing at?
I'm 18. I'm 18 now. Started when I was about 8, 9 years old, just to stay out of trouble and like keep my head down. And then yeah, I ended up being all right.
And you've definitely been all right because they've made you captain of the club. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, no, I was there for a season. I've done a year at West Ham, and then, but because the way I approach things with training, even when I was 15 and that, I approach it in a professional mindset. And if I'm going to do something, I do it right. And I make sure everyone around me is also doing it right. So, yeah, West Ham, they gave me the title of a club captain and that. And it means the world when you're a gym with that much history and that an elite space to get put in the top and the cream and the crop of that is unreal. It's unreal.
And a big part of that history was Kevin Mitchell, like you mentioned, and he's helping coach there now, and his son's boxing, isn't he? How's he getting?
Yeah, his son. Connor's great. Connor's learning. He's got his own style. He's not when my dad was really good. I'll do what he done. He's got his own style, his own way about things, and if he keeps working hard, he'll be a good little fighter.
Now, your first bout, what was that like? What's your memory of that one?
My first bout, I can remember it clear as day. It was in a terrible little bar in the middle of nowhere, and I was about 29 kilo. I don't even think my vest fit me. I think my vest was still baggy, and my shorts was down to my knees. And I tried getting in there, and the adrenaline rush was unreal. And like I say, they carded me on my birthday, and I fought 3 days later. I remember it. So I had boxed. I had just turned 11, and it was unreal. But until I was about 15, I didn't like to take boxing seriously. I was playing football at a good level. I was doing athletics at a high level. So I was an all-round sportsman. I just see boxing as a hobby. So when I started winning, and I was going to schoolboy final, I'd done two years of going to the last stage of the schoolboys, and then I thought I might have to start taking this a little bit seriously. I might be all right. But yeah, my first bat, I think all I threw was a jab, and then yeah, we ended up here.
Did you ever suffer from? You don't look the type, but when I've watched you box recently, you look very relaxed in a ring. You know, is that come with experience or?
Yeah, I think naturally with fighting anyway, I was never the best behaved kid in school and that. So there was always rough play and that. And I just felt when I get in the ring, I'm not phased by anything. There's a level of fear, but it's healthy. It's fear I can control. So I'm relaxed. I'm comfortable in my ring generalship. Like I know when I get in the ring, this man can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't. So I'm there, I'm relaxing, I'm just going through it, and then we win.
And a lot of younger boxers are at West Ham, aren't they? What advice would you give to them about the roller coaster of boxing, you know, the ups and downs when those decisions don't go your way?
My thing with boxing is what goes up must come down, and if you're down, it can't get any worse. So if I've won a national title and I've won 5 in a row and I'm unreal, as fast as that's went up, you lose a couple fights and it goes right back down. So you have to accept the dips and the troughs. But also when you're on the high, you can't believe the hype that people will naturally push around you. You just got to go, yep, it's coming. I'm working hard. And as long as you work hard and you put 100% into everything you do, you can't ask for much more.
And how do you describe that feeling to the ones who haven't boxed yet? That feeling when you do win in a ring?
Oh, it's unmatched. It's unmatched. When someone if you broke it down, and especially as a boy, a teenage boy, you want to be better than every other teenage boy. That's natural competitiveness. So when someone goes to you, you are better than him. You have beat him in this fight. It's the best feeling in the world because you're top of the world. You're like a king. You're king of the world.
And who were the boxers that you looked up to? Amateur boxers, you know, that when you first started off, and professionals you liked?
When I started off, I never followed boxing. My family never followed boxing. I think they enjoyed the sport, but no one was a boxer. We was a football players. So I was going to boxing gyms and I just want to go play football, Dad. I don't even want to. I was going to England camps with the best kids and going, I missed a football match there. I want to go football. So until I started understanding boxing and I got into it, I looked up to fighters that was different. I didn't like the standard fighter. I really enjoyed watching James DeGale. I thought he was always excited and he brought something. Obviously, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Canelos that have come through, you watch them, you go, I'm in the era right now. When these people retire, I can remember watching that person live going, amazing. I like watching Josh Taylor at the moment. I think he's good. And then I also like I like the heavier boys sometimes because he's got a bit more behind it with the heavier boys. So I like a Tyson Fury. He moves about. He's not afraid to show what he's about. Some people get a bit scared of showing flair. And I think flair, if you've got flair, you'll go very, 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 very far in the sport.
Yeah, yeah. And support is important as well, isn't it? And how important was that for you from your family and friends during your whole boxing career?
If no one's going to support you and you're constantly supporting yourself all the time, it's hard. You've got to be very, very mentally strong. Because like I say, when you are in them troughs and it is getting a bit low, you've lost a couple fights, you need someone or multiple people to help bring you back up. And that's why amateur boxing is such a great sport, because in some people's lives, they don't have a parental figure or a father figure. So if they're down and they're low, they've had a bad day at school, they go to the gym, the coach can see that and he brings them back up like a father would if they don't have that at home. So it's a second family. So for them kids that are getting involved in it, you've not got to be the best in the world. It's just nice to have that second family there, staying off the street, staying away from trouble. You're coming into the gym, you're letting that, everyone's got anger inside them, every single person in this world. So to be allowed to let that out how many times a week, it's amazing. It's amazing.
How hard have you found it, Finley? We're just coming out of the COVID, and I don't think you've boxed since February 2020. I think I saw you last.
Nah.
How difficult has that been? You've had a glimpse of boxing not being in your life.
So I was actually very lucky during coronavirus. Obviously, the first heavy lockdown, when it was first lockdown, and then I had no access to no gyms. But when it started to ease up and professionals was allowed in, because of my ability, I kind of had an opportunity to go and train alongside Mark Tibbs and his professional team. So I grabbed the opportunity with both hands and I'm still there now. So I'm still training with them every morning. So I'm learning and that's all I want to do. I just want to learn. I just want to learn of anyone that's got knowledge. So if he's the best professional coach in my eyes in Britain, I want to learn what that man has to teach me, and he will help me open so many more doors in my career.
Do you know, I watched him box live years ago at the London Arena. He boxed on the George Foreman bill, and he was on the undercard of that. That's going back 30 years.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing. Now, what do you want to? You've boxed for England, haven't you? What did that feel like?
Yeah, I boxed internationally. For a lot of years, I was just on the crisp of I was on the team, but I was never first in line for any kicks or anything like that. And then I started performing really well, and I put myself in a position where they could not pick me. So they come about. I boxed the Welsh champion in England in Cannock, and I won in a unanimous decision. But it felt great to represent your country and know I've won there and I've beat someone from a different country. Representing his country is a whole different level of like proudness for myself and an achievement for myself.
Is that your favourite bout when you look back now?
I think that bout was I don't know how to describe it. I was very, very, very happy before I even done the bout because I was happy to even get picked. I was like, I had all this feeling of, oh my God, I'm finally going to represent my country and that. And then when I won, it was like, oh, I've actually won. I'm actually, and that for me confirmed I can compete at an international stage. That confirmed to me because I won that quite clearly. The kid was a good kid as well. He was on good form. He was a very strong kid, and to come out on top dominantly just proved I can perform on the international stage.
So, what do you want to achieve next? This will be your first senior season, will it be?
So this year in November, I've got the youth championships. That'll be my last year as a youth, and then I will move on to seniors in 2022. But with the way the world is at the moment, you've just got to take it one tournament at a time. And I'm lucky enough that the doors have already opened for me, whether it's professional, whether it's GB, whether it's Olympics. The doors are there. So I've just got to take it a tournament at a time, see what rolls around, and then when the right opportunity comes across, I grab it with both hands and we hope for the next one. So just keep working hard and everything will fall into place.
Now, boxing is obviously a massive part of your life. Have you got any other hobbies outside of it to, release the stress of boxing at times?
My whole life is based around sport, pretty much. If there's a sport, I'll play it and I'll enjoy it and I'll try and do it as best as I can. I like playing golf, quite good at golf. I enjoy playing. I was quite good at football. I played football to a good standard and I was all right, but the boxing kind of overgrew it and I had to say I'm a bit better at this than I am at that. Let's move along. But yeah, I'm a bit of a party boy. I'd say I like going out. I don't shy away from. I'm not like most other boxers who just stay in and that. I like to go out and enjoy myself rather than. So I think it could all end tomorrow, so I might as well enjoy the present. It's a gift.
Yeah. Final question, Finley. You've obviously achieved a lot in the sport. You've represented England, boxer West Ham, and you're captain of West Ham. What does this sport mean to you, and why do you love it so much?
This sport. If that boxing, I don't know where I'd be. I could be anywhere. That's the thing with it. Boxing gives you a blueprint. So for a kid that's lost or a kid that don't know what he wants to do in 10 years' time, but he enjoys this sport, there's a blueprint there. And with boxing, I think it's amazing. You've not got to be the best in the world to be able to achieve and make yourself proud. You could be at a regional level. You might win one regional championship, but that was good for you, so that made you proud. Someone else might achieve an Olympic gold medal and they go, that made me proud. So it can cater for anyone, boxing. You might even not even get carded, but you had your first spar and you were so proud of yourself. I think with boxing, it just gives any person the opportunity to achieve.
That's a great answer, that. And can you see yourself staying in the sport for life? Can you be going 100%. On to a coach?
100%, without a doubt. I think I was coaching the kids last night at West Ham. I was taking them on the pads. I was teaching them, because looking back at it now at 18, the things I would have liked to be taught at 12, 13, 14, I can pass on to them kids because I taught it. And way I think anyway with boxing, I'm tactically based. I understand tactics. My skill is very high, so I know I can teach these kids, and I know when I retire and my career is done, whenever that may be, I'd make a good coach and I'll coach very well.
Finley, it's been great talking to you. All the best at West Ham, and good luck with the Hammers.
All the best. Thank you for talking to me, mate.
Top amateur Finley James. West Ham. We're down in Orrington, Raynham. Mark Tibbs boxing. Give me the Rocky finish. That's